Special elections are coming up across the Brazos Valley, and we have a preview for you on what's on the ballot for Burleson County. And there's a new project for Bryan Parks where kids can expect to find some new places to play in the future. Your KRHD News starts right now.
Connecting the Brazos Valley, this is KRHD News.
Well, thanks for joining us on your KRHD News at 5. I'm Garrett Hoddle. Hearn police have found and charged a suspect all tied to an Easter Sunday shooting. Justin Jerome Evans, who you see pictured there, has been charged with second-degree murder and also tampering with evidence. On April 17th, Evans allegedly shot 48-year-old Cleophas Webster. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. Hearn police believe the incident to be isolated with no further threat to the public. Also, there's a proposition on this weekend's ballot for Burleson County residents that could bring in $2 million in annual revenue for the county. KRHD reporter Rebecca Fiedler breaks down this item for us and explains how this change could impact you.
If you're a resident of Burleson County, you may have seen the campaign signs around your neighborhood and know that there's an election on Saturday. What you may not know is that a proposition is on the ballot that would raise sales tax for unincorporated areas of the county. So that's areas outside of city limits. Burleson County Judge Keith Schrader explains that county leaders introduced this proposition with the hopes of offsetting any need for raising property taxes as the county's expenses rise.
The state sends down mandates to the county in every session they have. And many of those mandates are not funded. There's also some areas that I feel like we're insufficient in services. Two of those, one of those is Road and Bridge Department. Another one is law enforcement.
Schrader explains that towns such as Caldwell and Somerville already pay the maximum sales tax allowed by the state, just over 8%. Unincorporated areas have been paying less for years, a little over 6%. The proposition includes a 1.5% price hike that will bring rural areas' sales tax rates to equal that 8% figure.
We want to make sure that nobody's using the competitive advantage of the tax, of the sales tax level, to where it was going to hurt businesses. And we reached out to several businesses. We weren't really able to find any that it really affected.
Schrader says this would mostly affect businesses like gas stations, where the taxed customer base would be travelers from out of the county. However, the tax could affect some online purchases as well.
I see the merit in raising it to match everyone else, but I don't know if it's going to do much.
Joshua Prigmore's family live in the unincorporated community of Gus, and Prigmore feels his family would be happy to hear their property taxes wouldn't be rising, but he would prefer any money taken from rural residents to be used not just for city residents.
As long as it goes towards important things like fixing our really crappy roads out in the county that need to be paved at least.
If you are a registered Burleson County voter, you can vote on this issue on Saturday, May 7th. And if you visit our website at krhdnews.com, we'll provide you with polling locations and more voter information. Reporting in Caldwell, Rebecca Fiedler, KRHD News.
Well, it's been an effort that's years in the making, and it's now gaining momentum with a new partnership. KRHD News reporter Brittany DeFran is explaining how a local landfill is benefiting the Twin Cities.
The partnership between Twin Oaks Landfill and Murrow Energy will help the local economy by saving at least $10 million.
Over the last 10 years, Twin Oaks Landfill has been working towards providing the Twin Cities with a reliable energy source through landfill gas. Now, an established partnership with Murrow Energy will help residents save some extra cash.
It benefits us in several ways. Financially, it benefits us. First thing is it avoids some of our future costs for expanding our landfill gas collection system. The second way financially it helps is that we'll receive a royalty from the sale of landfill gas.
Murrow Energy will build their plant on site to help produce renewable power.
Murrow Energy has already begun construction on site and will prepare to begin running in early 2023.
In Grimes County, Brittany DeFran, KRHD News.
6 Bryan City parks will be getting new playgrounds after the approval by the Bryan City Council. The approved playgrounds are valued at nearly $1 million, and they'll be coming to Austin's Colony Park, Castle Heights Park, Greenbrier Park, Henderson Park, Ibarra Park, and Shirewood Park. Bryan Parks and Rec also will install new rubber surfaces to each park to ensure better child safety.
These parks came to the forefront. Several of them have parts missing, and they're older, and we can't get replacements for them, and they're just worn out. And so we prioritized our system, and these were the top group that we had funding available for.
The city of Bryan expects to begin reconstruction during the summer. However, national supply chain shortages could cause delays. Now, it seems Disney is making its way to the Brazos Valley on Saturday. KRHD News reporter Chris Talley is explaining how the fun event is making a huge impact here at home.
The Brazos County Expo will transform on Saturday into a Disney-themed expo benefiting the American Cancer Society. As the event space transforms, Amanda Godfrey, the co-chair of the event, walked through what attendees can expect from one of the sites to see.
You're going to go into Disney, into the Magic Kingdom, and in Tomorrowland. We'll have stuff set up for our survivors. The reason we set them specifically in Tomorrowland is because we're hoping they all have another tomorrow.
Carrie Horn, another co-chair, says that this doesn't just help out people affected by cancer in the Brazos Valley, but also contributes to the American Cancer Society.
It's really for the entire family, but it's more than just bringing Disney here. It's raising awareness for cancer, raising money to fund research and medical care, and just the different things that survivors and those that are fighting have to go through on a daily basis that a lot of people may not even be aware of.
The Relay for Life shines a light on finding a cure for cancer, even when you wish upon a star. In Bryan, Chris Talley, KRHD News.
The $46 billion in emergency rental assistance from the government is expected to run out in just a few months. That's what the U.S. Department of Treasury is estimating. Now, the money is part of what has been helping people avoid evictions, nearly a year since the CDC's eviction moratorium ended. Recently, we've been seeing evictions increasing, but the bigger wave that was predicted also hasn't happened because of the legal community mobilizing to help people navigate the system. That includes law school students.
It's this great resource of idealistic people who are looking to make a difference. They come to law school because they want to make a difference in the world, and this is an opportunity, and that this would be something where they could help out in a lot of ways, whether it was working with legal aid lawyers or through law school clinics.
Georgetown Law School Dean Bill Triner helped organize a partnership between law schools as the federal eviction moratorium was ending. The Justice Department and White House came to him looking for ways to prevent evictions.
Pandemic's been difficult for everybody, but it's been particularly hard for certain communities, and particularly communities with low incomes and Black and brown communities. And I felt a real sense of obligation to help as a result.
He's just one of the more than 2,100 students from 99 law schools who have spent more than 81,000 hours helping more than 10,000 households. That help has included making sense of forms they have to fill out to get assistance.
Just looking at the expressions of folks' faces when they left, I mean, they felt like they had been listened to and been heard. I think that often one of the biggest barriers that people in low-income communities have in interacting with their government or getting the services that they need is just not feeling heard.
Now, Georgetown Law's dean is working with the U.S. Attorney General's office now to see how the initiative with law students can be expanded beyond the pandemic. He says that could include developing more ties to legal aid, starting more housing clinics, and doing more to help people navigate the legal system.
This is a long-term problem. COVID was a particular moment of crisis, but there's not enough affordable housing in the country. And so there's just kind of an ongoing eviction crisis, year after year.
And you can check with law schools near you to see if they're currently offering any housing clinics or other eviction help. Some places have started putting a tax on groceries. Ahead in our lineup, how it's contributing to food insecurity and the action some places are pushing for to change it. Plastic waste recycling has dropped in the U.S. That starts the news feed. Recycling fell between 5 and 6% in 2021. That's according to a new report from 2 environmental groups. Now, the drop comes as some countries like China and Turkey have banned plastic waste imports from the U.S. Stanford University will launch a new school focusing on climate change. It's thanks to a $1.1 billion donation. The school will open this fall. A major disaster has been declared in New Mexico as wildfires threaten thousands of homes. The Biden administration is unlocking critical federal aid. Fires there have burned more than 160,000 acres, destroying dozens of homes. One area of infrastructure that needs a crucial upgrade is dams. The Associated Press tallied more than 2,200 dams in poor condition across the country, meaning the likelihood they could break and kill someone is high. That's an increase from about 1,000 dams 3 years ago when the AP did a similar review. Infrastructure experts say maintenance was likely put off during the pandemic.
Well, as inclement weather rolls through the Brazos Valley, it is important to keep preparedness in mind. This is the first week of hurricane preparedness season, and experts are encouraging people to be ready this year. Reporter Jerome Baker from our sister station, KXXV, is speaking with officials on how to build a plan for when danger strikes.
Hurricane Preparedness Week is upon us.
This is that time of the year. We have a lot of our springtime weather has the potential for becoming very severe and very quickly.
Bell County Emergency Management Coordinator Bob Reinhardt says Central Texas normally isn't directly impacted from hurricanes.
The impact that we had was not necessarily with rain or the weather itself. What we had was the evacuation of people from the coastline coming up inland, and we helped with that.
But we still feel the effects of harsh weather, like last month when a massive tornado ripped through Bell County.
In the event that you have severe weather in your area, find somebody, a place within your home, an interior room, preferably without any windows and things of that nature, and then practice that with your family.
Reinhardt also says there are several items that you can buy that will help you survive during and after the storm, such as a generator.
More times than not, when severe weather comes through, it does do an extensive amount of damage to our power grid, and it takes sometimes upwards of 2 or 3 days to get that power restored.
And we've been talking about it all week, and now we are finally here. Our front rolling through the area, producing those scattered storms, some turning severe. This afternoon, most of the action has managed to stick along I-35 just to the east of us, but we're going, or west of us rather, but we are going to see some changes as we go forward. We've already seen severe thunderstorm warnings in places like Madison County, Grimes County, even here in Brazos County, and there is going to be some potential as we go forward. Most of these storms have produced winds in excess over 60 miles per hour and the hail as large as quarters, and we could see those continue until about that 8 o'clock hour when this line of showers and storms should begin to progress and exit the area. So overall, what you can expect, these line of scattered showers and storms to continue leading up until about, say, 8, 9 o'clock, and then we should see it exit the Brazos Valley. And then as we go into Friday, well, then we'll get a little bit of a break and we'll start to warm up quite a bit going into the weekend. But short term, you're going to want to stay weather aware, especially if we see any more of these storms turn severe. So be sure to stay tuned to 25 weather as we keep you posted on that. As we go into Friday, we mentioned this, that storm system is going to exit the area and we are going to see quiet weather conditions going forward, but it is going to be on the hot side of things, definitely going to feel like summer as we go into Mother's Day weekend. Our high temperatures are going to take a climb close to the mid 90s, and we're going to see that continue for the back half of our weekend as well. So when we take a closer look at Future Track, you'll notice that line of showers and storms exits the area right around, say, 9 o'clock tonight, and then we should see the cloud cover fill in, and then as we roll into Friday, we should see partly cloudy conditions, peaks of sunshine as well, and it's going to be warm once again close to that 90-degree mark. So we're really not going to cool off that much as a result of this cold front. We're really just seeing the precipitation at the moment, some much needed and welcomed rain across a lot of Texas for today. Going forward, what can you expect for your weekend? When we take a look at our 10-day forecast, it's going to tell the story the best. 91 for our high tomorrow, partly cloudy skies going into Mother's Day weekend. 95 degrees, partly cloudy skies going into Sunday for Mom. On the hot side of things, guys. 96 degrees for our high, and then as we go into next week, it looks like we're going to see very accommodating conditions in terms of severe weather storms, but it's going to be hot, feeling very summer-like too, with those highs above 90 degrees as we go forward.
Some big changes proposed today to a law that's supposed to help people who earn less secure loans. The changes to the Community Reinvestment Act would make sure banks are not redlining, which is refusing to lend in areas where more minorities or lower earners live. It would also help make sure small businesses are treated more equally. Leaders working on the changes say it would expand credit access, investment, and banking services in underserved communities. Mortgage rates continue to climb. They're over 5% on average this week. That's the highest since 2009, and a lot higher than this time last year when they were under 3% for a 30-year loan. That, of course, makes affordability tougher for some potential buyers. Mortgage rates tend to rise alongside interest rates. Every one of us has felt the pinch of inflation at the store, but some are feeling it even more than the rest of us. More than a dozen states have a sales tax on groceries, costing people hundreds more each year. Dan Grossman shows us how that's increasing food insecurity and what some are doing about it.
We're very close.
There has never been a better time to appreciate Mom.
Sometimes it's fun. I love their personalities. They make me laugh.
Iris Owens is a single mom of 4, but in a month where the attention should be on her and all that she does.
You know, kids are carefree.
She still deflects to what it is they do for her.
They don't worry so much. They don't stress about things. So I try to feel with them in that situation and like, you know what? I can be stress-free right now. My kid they're helping me through this by being the way that they are, so.
The this Iris refers to is the exorbitant costs she incurs each week to feed her kids. There's inflation, but in her home state of Kansas, there's also the 6.5% she pays each time she goes to the store because of the state's grocery tax.
You know, you go in there and you have a certain budget, like, okay, I'm gonna just spend $50. End up having to spend more or having to put stuff back. You know, that's embarrassing.
Of the 45 states in our country with a sales tax, 13 of them impose it on groceries. Some, like Utah and Virginia, do it at a lower percentage, but others, like Idaho and Oklahoma, do it at its full rate. In Kansas, it's imposed at 6.5%, the second highest in the nation. For Iris, it means an extra $300 to $400 out of her pocket in grocery bills alone each year.
It's very difficult because sometimes you might have to go without. You know, there's been times I have to go without, and I never wanted my kids to feel that. I never want them to know of me struggling.
If we could get rid of that tax, that's going to help those families that we're serving as well.
Brian Walker is with the Kansas Food Bank. In March, it saw its need rise by 15% from just the month before. He thinks a big portion of it is because of inflation and how it's pushing the costs of that grocery tax higher. According to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, the lowest 20% of earning Americans spend nearly twice as much on groceries each year than the highest 20%.
You know, families that are struggling, they look for calories, right? They look for what's the cheapest. And if you freed up some dollars, you know, we could work with them on buying, although we don't want to be the food police, but looking at healthier options, which is one of those things that if we can change that needle just some, we're improving their lives.
Since taking office, Kansas's governor has proposed eliminating the grocery tax, but it's been a battle in the legislature. After months of back and forth, the state finally approved a measure last week that would cut the grocery tax over the next few years until it's fully wiped away in 2025.
It just breaks my heart to know that people are suffering and can't get the food that they need for their children and their family.
Hoping it eases the strain on parents like Iris, who's doing everything she can to make it work. I'm Dan Grossman.
Dan, thank you for that report. Well, a final check of the lineup. Using a credit card could start to cost us even more. We're looking into a push to make swipe fees more transparent and possibly even limit them altogether.
And World News is tonight, and we'll be back in just 30 minutes for KRHD News at 6. Until then, be safe and have a great rest of